Yeah. The Lord said to us, so we're not done, by the way, with this rebellion. We've taken care of the rebels, but the issue still remains that we need to legitimize Moses and Aaron, or Aaron in particular, because he's the one whose priesthood is being questioned. The Lord said to Moses, I don't know why, I don't know why at this point these people are still questioning the legitimacy of Moses and Aaron. It seems to me like they would have had plenty of evidence confirming that these are the guys that God has chosen to be his leaders. I said earlier, Korah probably is upset that his people have not been chosen to be the priests. All they are the helpers, the assistants, and he probably wants more than that. The Reubenites probably are upset that their privilege as the firstborn has been taken away. But it's you have to be really, and human beings can be that. Human beings can be that. So, if I had been there at that time, if I had been in that position, I can't say I wouldn't have thought the same way or wouldn't have acted the same way. I don't know if I could say that. So who knows? The Lord said to Moses, "Speak to the Israelites and get 12 staffs from them, one from the leader of each of their ancestral tribes. Write the name of each man on his staff." So we're going to have 12 staffs, one for each tribe of Israel. On the staff of Levi, write Aaron's name, for there must be one staff for the head of each ancestral tribe. Place them in the tent of meeting in front of the testimony where I meet with you. The staff belonging to the man I choose will sprout, and I will rid myself of this constant grumbling against you by the Israelites. So Moses spoke to the Israelites, and their leaders gave him 12 staffs, one for the leader of each of their ancestral tribes, and Aaron's staff was among them. Moses placed the staffs before the Lord in the tent of the testimony. I'm assuming these staffs would have been specially designed for each person. They would have probably looked visually different from each other. It would have been kind of like a symbol of some sort. They would have had their names written on them. I mean, God told them to do that. But I also think they probably would have designed a little different too, looked a little different from each other. The next day Moses entered the tent of the testimony and saw that Aaron's staff, which represented the house of Levi, had not only sprouted, but had budded, blossomed, and produced almonds. So it's basically growing like a tree would grow. I mean, these things would have come from trees originally, but they're obviously dead wood now. They're staves. And this has grown back into a tree again somehow. Then Moses brought out all the staffs from the Lord's presence to all the Israelites. They looked at them, and each man took his own staff. The Lord said to Moses, "Put back Aaron's staff in front of the testimony, to be kept as a sign to the rebellious. This will put an end to their grumbling against me, so that they will not die." Moses did just as the Lord commanded him. The Israelites said to Moses, "We will die. We are lost. We are all lost. Anyone who even comes near the tabernacle of the Lord will die. Are we all going to die?" The Lord said to Aaron, "You, your sons, and your father's family are to bear the responsibility for offenses against the sanctuary, and you and your sons alone are to bear the responsibility for offenses against the priesthood. Bring your fellow Levites from your ancestral tribe to join you, and assist you, and you and your sons minister before the tent of the testimony. They are to be responsible to you, and are to perform all the duties of the tent. But they must not go near the furnishings of the sanctuary or the altar, or both they and you will die. They are to join you and be responsible for the care of the tent of meeting, all the work of the tent, and no one else may come near where you are. You are to be responsible for the care of the sanctuary and the altar, so that wrath will not fall on the Israelites again." So the Israelites were concerned that they would die. We've had this plague spread to the people. We've had this judgment come, and they're concerned they're going to die. So the Levites and the priests are going to form a barrier around the tent, which is the holy place. That's where God's presence is. And it is dangerous to be in God's presence. For an unholy person to be in the presence of an unholy God does involve danger. So the priests and the Levites are going to meet. The priests are going to mediate between the people and God, and they and the Levites are going to form like a literal barrier around the tabernacle to keep people from encroaching on the holy space of God and incurring guilt. I myself have selected your fellow Levites from among the Israelites as a gift to you, dedicated to the Lord to do the work at the tent of meeting. But only you and your sons may serve as priests in connection with everything at the altar and inside the curtain. I am giving you the service of the priesthood as a gift. Anyone else who comes near the sanctuary must be put to death. Then the Lord said to Aaron, I myself have put you in charge of the offerings presented to me. All the holy offerings the Israelites give me, I give to you, and to your sons as your portion and your regular share. You are to have the part of the most holy offerings that is kept from the fires. Obviously, a good chunk of their offerings are burned up. The whole burnt offerings are burned up entirely, and portions of all the other offerings are burned up, but the portions that are not are to be the priests. From all the gifts they bring me as most holy offerings, whether grain or sin or guilt offerings, that part belongs to you and your sons. Eat it as something most holy. Every male shall eat it. You must regard it as holy. Only the sons of Aaron are the priests. The daughters of Aaron were not priests. This also is yours. Whatever is set aside from the gifts of all the wave offerings of the Israelites, I give this to you and your sons and your daughters as your regular share. So if you're wondering how the daughters of Aaron eat anything, that's how. Some of the food they could eat. Some of it only the sons of Aaron could eat, because only the sons of Aaron could be priests. But the daughters weren't going to starve. They could get some food too from a different crop of the offerings. Everyone in your household who is ceremonially clean may eat it. I give you all the finest olive oil and all the finest new wine and grain they give the Lord as the first fruits of their harvest. All the land's first fruits that they bring to the Lord will be yours. Everyone in your household who is ceremonially clean may eat it. So they brought their offerings and their sacrifices. The remainder of that, whatever portions of that weren't burned up, the priests could eat. But they also, those are the people. The people brought those sacrifices. The people also brought their tithes, their tenth of their produce, and then the priests could eat that. There was a whole family that could eat that. Everything in Israel that is devoted to the Lord is yours. The first offspring of every womb, both man and animal, that is offered to the Lord is yours. But you must redeem every firstborn son and every firstborn male of unclean animals, because they weren't supposed to eat the son and the animal and the unclean. You're not supposed to eat humans, and you're not supposed to eat unclean animals. So they had to buy those. They had to buy those back, redeem them. When they are a month old, you must redeem them at the redemption price set at 5 shekels of silver, according to the sanctuary shekel, which weighs 20 gerahs. But you must not redeem the firstborn of an ox, a sheep, or a goat. They are holy. These are the sacrifice animals. Sprinkle their blood on the altar and burn their fat as an offering made by fire, an aroma pleasing to the Lord. Their meat is to be yours. So these animals are to be used as sacrifices. Just as the bread, you had other forms of clean animals that you could just eat that did not have to be sacrificed, and that were not eligible. You know, there were more kinds of clean animals than the kinds that just got sacrificed. You could eat those. You couldn't eat unclean animals. So you weren't supposed to eat your fellow humans either. So you were the firstborn son and animals. The firstborn of the son of men and animals was to be given over. But for men and unclean animals, they were to buy them back, to redeem them with the shekels. For the animals that they could eat, they could have those firstborn and eat them. And the animals that were to be sacrificed, of course, were reserved for the sacrifice. Their meat is to be yours, just as the breast of the wave offering and the right thigh are yours. Whatever is set aside from the holy offerings the Israelites present to the Lord, I give to you and your sons and daughters as your regular share. It is an everlasting covenant of salt before the Lord for both you and your offspring. The Lord said to Aaron, "You will have no inheritance in the land, nor will you have any share among them. I am your share and your inheritance among the Israelites. I give to the Levites all the tithes in Israel as their inheritance." So the Levites are not going to get a land allotment in Israel. They will get cities. They will get cities scattered throughout the land, but they will not get a land allotment. I give to the Levites all the tithes in Israel as their inheritance, in return for the work they do while serving at the tent of meeting. From now on, the Israelites must not go near the tent of meeting, or they will bear the consequences of their sin and will die. It is the Levites who are to do the work at the tent of meeting and bear the responsibility for offenses against it. This is a lasting ordinance for the generations to come. They will receive no inheritance among the Israelites. Instead, I give to the Levites as their inheritance the tithes that the Israelites present as an offering to the Lord. That is why I said concerning them, they will have no inheritance among the Israelites. The Lord said to Moses, "Speak to the Levites and say to them, when you receive from the Israelites the tithe I give you as your inheritance, you must present a tenth of that tithe as the Lord's offering." So a tenth of a tenth. So the Israelites give a tenth of their stuff to the Lord. The Lord then gives that to the Levites, and the Levites take a tenth of that and give that back to the Lord. Your offering will be reckoned to you as grain from the threshing floor or juice from the winepress. They couldn't have these things themselves because they didn't have land in the country. But this is reckoned to them as their offerings of grain or wine or juice. In this way you will also present an offering to the Lord from all the tithes you receive from the Israelites. From these tithes you must give the Lord's portion to Aaron the priest. You must present as the Lord's portion the best and the holiest part of everything given to you. So of the stuff the Israelites give, they take the top 10%, the 10 best, the best of the best, the best stuff, the best 10%, the first fruits, the best 10%. And then the Levites take that and take the best 10% of that and give that to the Lord. So the best of the best, the tenth of a tenth. Say to the Levites, when you present the best part, it will be reckoned to you as a product of the threshing floor or the winepress. We just said that. You and your households may eat the rest of it anywhere, for it is the wages for your work at the tent of meeting. By presenting the best part of it, you will not be guilty in this matter. Then you will not defile the holy offerings of the Israelites, and you will not die. We'll go ahead and start another one.